Hello! I'm bending over this to try and, there we go. Lisa, get prepared before you start the video. So today, I am going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to do this after watching some of Sammy Gs videos about music. And I says, Lisa, you should do a music video. And I thought, you know what? I will. Now, I don't have all of these. Now, it's CDs I've got. I don't have all of these here because they're all in different formats. They're in different places. There's stuff in vinyl. I can't, most of the vinyl that we own is in the attic in boxes because when the child moves out, the room is being lovely Calix units and the vinyls and everything will go out. But the ones I've got here. This video is going to be my top 10 favourite albums. I'm also going to give you a few mentions of ones I think either you maybe haven't heard of and ones that I loved back in the day. Maybe don't, I'm sorry, I've got a sore throat. It's hay fever, I think. So, I don't know where that one is. There's loads of these I've got and I can't find. It's ridiculous because, yes, we should get the physical media and we should play it. I can't play vinyls there in the attic. I don't play CDs purely because you can't play them in the car. So everything tends to be streamed on a USB stick nowadays, doesn't it? But I still like to have the physical. I just maybe don't use it very often. So in my special mentions, I've got Back in Black by AC/DC because AC/DC is one of those feel-good bands for me. Dallas Cheerleaders, I cannot believe, uses so much AC/DC. The main song they use is Thunderstruck, which is just an incredible track. I love Thunderstruck. They're such a feel-good band. When I used to go to rock clubs when I was younger, they would always get the place, you know, buzzing. You always got people on the floor to like Whole Lot of Rosie, Back in Black, just... well, Thunderstruck's probably one of my favourites, but I love AC/DC. So Back in Black I've got on my special mentions. Now you will say this isn't a rock group, but to me they're rock country, is the Eagles. I love the Eagles. JT at the Movies, James, and his lovely partner Laura, Laura, and their friends are in a band called Leaving Overmorrow, and they actually are now covering is it Peaceful Easy Feeling, I think they're called, and they cover a load of Eagles stuff and they are so good. I went to see them in Belfast. Luckily one of the guys in the band, Ruben, is from Belfast, so they actually came and played a gig in Belfast. I got to go and see them and meet James and Laura and the guys, and lovely people. But when I say these guys' harmonies are cracking, there was an Eagles song that I had never heard before that they did a cappella, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I had to go home and look it up. I love it.
There are stars in the southern sky, southward as you go. There is moonlight, moss in the trees. Down the seven bridges
Their a cappella is just right. I've got messages coming through. Right, my prescription's ready at the chemist. Honestly, so professional. So Hotel California by the Eagles. I just love the Eagles. I think they're fabulous. I had to put a little bit of old school rock in here. Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses is one of those rare albums that does not have a weak track on it. I love it. I listened to it a lot back in the days in my early teens. Bon Jovi. I'm sorry folks, we had to go there. Yes, they're very light rock. I think we've got them here somewhere. So, how many have I got? I've only got 2 here. Why can I never find anything? So I've got this one. I'm showing you these because people never talk about these ones. So this is 7,800 degrees Fahrenheit, and this is Slippery When Wet. So Bon Jovi did a self-titled album called Bon Jovi, which is there somewhere, which is actually my favourite album of theirs, the very first one they ever did. Then they released this one, 78,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Then they did this one, Slippery When Wet. And then they did New Jersey. that is when Bon Jovi stopped being listenable to me. After the point that they did New Jersey, everything went to shit. I love their first 4 albums. The first, but it's very similar, I think, for all girls of a similar age. The first bands we got into were Def Leppard, Bon Jovi, Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue. It was all like hair metal back in the day, and guys were getting into like Megadeth, Anthrax, you know, that kind of thing. So I do not apologise for liking Bon Jovi. I only like them up until New Jersey, and after that I don't. So, now this is a different one. Crash Test Dummies. I make no apologies. The album is called God Shuffled His Feet. I am going to see them on Halloween night in Derry. They are doing a 20th, is it 20th? 30th? No, it's not. 20th anniversary concert for this album called God Shuffled His Feet. They're Canadian. I would never have had any chance to get to see these guys. What they're doing here, I've no idea.
He said that it was from when the cars had smashed so hard.
So they're playing in October in Derry. I can't wait to. That album is so clever. The lyrics are hilarious. Right. How does a duck know what direction south is and how to tell his wife from all the other ducks? I'm sorry, but the lyrics are amazing. I love them. They make me laugh. So, Crash Test Dummies, I really enjoy. I don't know what genre you'd say they were, but I love them. So let's get on to the top 10, guys. These are all rock albums, bar one. And we're going to start off with that one that isn't. And I make absolutely no apologies for this. My number 10 favourite album is James Blunt, Back to Bedlam. I love James Blunt even before he became a legend on Twitter and was really funny. This album, the lyrics of some of these songs, Goodbye My Lover is a song on this. And before that, I Can't Make You Love Me by George Michael was probably one of my sad songs. You know, when they say what's the saddest song, it was always I Can't Make You Love Me by George Michael until I heard Goodbye My Lover on this, which is just so sad. But anyone that knows James Blunt will know he served in the army. He has seen combat firsthand. And there's a track in this called No Bravery, which is just... It's a really deep album with really deep lyrics, and yeah, people look at him as like a surface pop performer. Give a proper listen to this album, guys, and the lyrics in this album. I first heard this when I started dating my now husband back in 2005. Is that when this was released? Right, Lucy, you've better things to do than trying to... Yes, 2005 this was released. And he lived about 2 hours drive from me, and he couldn't drive, and I used to go up to his... I used to finish work on a Friday. I would take all my holidays as half-day Fridays. I would finish at dinner time, drive up to him, spend the weekend at his, and I listened to this non-stop for like months. So I know it implicitly. The lyrics are just absolutely beautiful. For me, the most I love everything about music, but I find for me the most important thing is the lyric and the vocal, for personally, and the vocal on that and the lyrics are just implicit. Don't switch off, please. So next is this one. This is Coverdale Page. David Coverdale and Jimmy Page. I'm sure everyone knows who they are. David Coverdale sang with a lot of rock bands, most notably Whitesnake, and Jimmy Page has played guitar with just so many different, you know, solo projects and bands. David Coverdale is one of my favourite vocalists. I think his voice is just amazing. I love the sort of bluesy rock tone that he has. I could have put any number of Whitesnake albums in this, but I put this one in purely because I think not enough people have heard it and they really should. There is a song on this called Pride and Joy.
So I can see where I'm going, baby. Play that thing.
Absolutely love it implicitly. I think my favourite Whitesnake's next song is In the Still of the Night, I think. So that's my number 9. My number 8 we've got here. This isn't going to be a popular choice right now. is this one by Marilyn Manson. I've got a tattoo of the heart that's inside this, thank God, right? So this little abstract heart I've got tattooed back here. I really like Marilyn Manson's music. We're not going to talk about his behaviour, nothing's been proven as yet, but I have a feeling that it's probably quite true. But this is hands down the sexiest album I have ever heard. This is just so hot of an album. I love it. I love it. What can I say? I don't want to say too much because I know Marilyn Manson has been accused of a lot of stuff. I do like most of his stuff. The first track of his I ever heard was called The Beautiful People. I'm hearing it in my head now. But this one is just so erotic as an album. Only beaten by Closer by 9 Inch Nails. Okay, next, I don't have this one. This is one that I had on cassette, guys. Cassette. This is Rainbow. Now, I could have picked any Rainbow album because I love Rainbow, but my favourite Rainbow was with Jolyn Turner as vocalist. They have had a lot of vocalists, Graham Bonnet, they have had Dio. I need to listen to more Dio. Anything I've heard of Ronnie James Dio, I love. I haven't heard enough of it, need to hear more of it. I think he's a fantastic vocalist, but I just feel that Jolyn Turner with Richie Blackmore, who had the ego the size of a house, he was the guitarist, and Rainbow pretty much was his band, I suppose. A lot of people struggled to work with Richie Blackmore. He had a bit of a reputation for being a bit of a control freak and difficult. Jolyn Turner, his vocal, I was lucky enough to see him in Belfast a few years ago doing an acoustic, really small intimate acoustic gig. Oh my god, that guy's voice is like velvet. He's my second favourite male vocalist of all time. Most people that know me won't struggle to work out who my favourite is. You'll hear that in albums 1 and 2 on my list. So my second favourite vocalist is Jolyn Turner. I've just always loved him. I feel he works implicitly with Rainbow, and the album I've chosen is Straight Between the Eyes. There are many, many Rainbow albums, and they're all bloody good. If you like Black Sabbath type stuff, although I prefer Rainbow to Black Sabbath, give it a go. Check out Rainbow. Okay, next one is one that every girl of my age that likes rock will have heard and loved, is Hysteria by Def Leppard. This is a very produced album. It's got a very specific sound. A lot of rock fans don't like this because they feel it's too produced. It's got too many effects on it. It's too clean. I grew up on this. I was listening to this when I was like 12, 13. Absolutely adored it. Love it. The first High and Dry and Pyromania that they did, and On Through the Night that they did before this one, has got a much more raw rock edge to it. But anything they did after this, they went the same way as Bon Jovi did. I mean, they released that awful Let's Get Rocked. I remember watching that on the chart show on a Saturday and thinking, what the fuck is this? Def Leppard, no. So, next is, right, I will wax lyrical about this band all day. This is my favourite alive band. This is Backyard Babies. Making Enemies is good. You can't see the top of my shelves, but they're full of Backyard Babies memorabilia. This is my favourite alive band. They are a Swedish punk band. This is the first album of theirs I ever heard. So I listened to this walking all the way to and from work every day, which was quite a trek, I have to say. And I got to know it implicitly and love it. They have done a lot of albums since. I've got every single one that they've released. I have seen them as many times as is humanly possible. I saw them back on this tour for this album, and then they didn't come back to Belfast again until pre-COVID. It was 2020. They came back, and I saw them on that tour as well. So absolutely love them. They're my favourite band. I love Backyard Babies with a passion.
The roses are red, the cedars been spread. Three can keep a secret if two of them's dead. Blood on their hands, cut family bands. Not enough life without being given the chance.
Where are we? Right, I don't have this one here. My next favourite one is called 5-Man Acoustical Jam by a band called Tesla. This is an American rock band I adore. I've actually got another one here I want to talk about when we're talking about acoustic. I didn't hear any of Tesla's proper stuff, you know, the electric stuff first. I heard the acoustic first and I fell in love with it instantly. They were so fun, they were so laid back. I love acoustic music. I think it shows a real talent in a band to be able to play acoustic well. Tesla are just a real fun, energetic southern rock band. I love them. I saw them in London and they were incredible, and then I saw them in Nottingham and the singer was Jeff Keith was a little bit ill, so I'm so glad I saw them first in London because the energy between the two shows was so different. But 5 Man Acoustical Jam is basically the band sitting down with acoustic guitars and playing through a lot of their stuff.
Just about a year ago, I set out on the road, seeking out fame and fortune, looking for a pot of gold. Things got bad and things got worse. I guess you know the truth. Oh Lord, I'm stuck in a low dying again.
Now, while we're talking, I've got it again. Jesus. Kiss. I like Kiss. I do like Kiss. But see this album, Kiss Unplugged. I prefer Kiss Unplugged to Electric. I know that's ridiculous. I love all the old Kiss stuff mainly. But right up till they did Revenge, which is a really good album. But this album, if you like acoustic rock, please check this out. This is incredible. They did MTV Unplugged and they brought back like past members that were no longer in the band. They had 2 drummers side by side drumming together. My favourite track in this is actually a cover of a Rolling Stones song, which is 2000 Man, which they cover and I absolutely love. So yeah.
Well, my name, it is a number. It's on a piece of plastic film, and I've been growing funny flowers outside of my little windowsill. Don't you know I'm a 2000 man?
I know I'm talking about Tesla, but that Kiss album I had to bring out. I've actually got 3 more here that aren't on the list. Let's talk about them before we get to the top 3. So these are albums I just want to recommend. If you like rock and you haven't, is that actually showing? I've got that cinematic on, so it's like, there we go. Apocalyptica. This is actually songs by Metallica that they're playing. The reason I recommend this is because when I first saw these guys, I was blown away. I went to see a band called Rammstein, a German like industrial band who are fabulous. And these guys came out. First of all, someone came out and put a stool on the stage, and I'm like, what's going on? I'm here to see like a really loud German industrial band. And these guys walked out with cellos, and I'm thinking, what? Chamber music? What's going on? I'd never heard of them. These guys can get sounds from cellos that you have never heard the like of in your life. They can sound like electric guitars, they can sound like rhythm, they can sound like bass. They play heavy rock music on cellos and they are fabulous. I've seen them play. I saw them on that Support gig and I was blown away. I'm like, where have these guys been all my life? What the hell's this? And then I went on to see them a couple of times in their own gigs in Manchester. But this is just Metallica stuff. So there's Enter Sandman, Master of Puppets, Harvester of Sorrow, The Unforgiven, Sad But True, Creeping Death, Wherever I May Roll, and Welcome Home, or you may know that as Sanitarium. So, I mean, give Apocalyptica a listen. If you haven't heard them, prepare to be amazed. But see, when I saw them for the first time in a big arena, and I'd never heard of them, I was awestruck. I couldn't believe what I was watching. Amazing. Right, this guy, Rocco DeLuca and the Burden. Now, I recommend this because I'm predominantly, obviously, a movie channel. I've forgotten the guy's name. Jesus Christ, Lisa Sutherland, Kiefer Sutherland. So, Kiefer Sutherland actually really liked these guys and managed them. And there was a documentary done about him going around with this band that he managed on their tour. I happened to be lucky enough that they were playing close to where I lived at the time, and I went to see them. I think it was Derby. And yeah, this album is called I Trust You to Kill Me, and my favourite track on this is called Colourful, which is beautiful. But this guy, his guitar playing is, when I saw him, he was fabulous, really bluesy, just really interesting sound about them. And I don't hear a lot of people talk about them, so I'm recommending that to you. And I've got this out because it's so bashed. It's one of my most listened to things. It's the only thing that me and my dad like to listen to together. This is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers anthology through the years. This guy is just incredible. This is like a double thing. It's so battered because it's so over listened to. My mum was in an MS hospital for a number of months, and me and my dad would drive up every day to see her. It was about an hour and a half drive each way, and we would listen to this every single day that we went. So if you like Tom Petty, so to give you an idea of tracks, if you're not sure, you'll have heard of Free Fallin', you will have heard of, what's the one that everyone knows? Learning to Fly. Everyone knows Learning to Fly. That one. Running Down a Dream. There's just so many tracks in this that you think you don't know, but you will know. Give it a listen, guys. The album is just solid straight to end. There's no weak tracks on this, guys. So let's get back to the top three. Number 3 is, there's a lot of albums I could have chosen. This is a band called Typo Negative. They're a gothic rock band fronted by the absolutely beautiful Pete Steele. Look at, I love the CD cover on this. I know it's blurry. So I like most Typo Negative albums. I'm not as big a fan of the earlier stuff because it's a bit too heavy for me. But the gothic stuff, Bloody Kisses was the first album of Typo Negative that I ever heard. And when I first heard Christian Woman, which was the first Typo Negative track I heard, I think I was 17. And I first saw what Pete Steele looked like, my heart stopped. I'm like, oh, crap. I'll put up pictures for anyone that doesn't know. If ever you want to see the most beautiful man in the world, there he is. Pete Steele, sadly no longer with us. I think he died of heart issues, as far as I know. But oh, it's such a beautiful man. But his voice is unlike any other voice that you'll hear in rock. But Typo Negative, just completely my vibe. Absolutely love them. My top 2 albums I don't actually have physically here, are both by Queen. I have a ton of Queen albums there, not these. Embarrassingly enough, I had those on cassette as well and listened to them like electronic, like I streamed them. So they're interchangeable. I love both. I struggle to pick between 1 and 2. It is A Night at the Opera and A Day at the Races. So you've got obviously Bohemian Rhapsodies on there. You've got a song sung by Brian May on there called 39, which I absolutely adore, which I never hear anyone talk about. One of my all-time favourite songs, Prophet's Song by Queen, which is another one. It's a real like epic, like Bohemian Rhapsody, a real building song. When you hear early Queen stuff and you hear the layers and the complicate, oh, it's just beautiful. You can lie there in the dark with your eyes shut and hear so much that you can't hear on a very sort of like surface listen. Freddie Mercury is obviously my favourite vocalist of all time. He's faultless, he's amazing. It's one of my biggest regrets having never been able to see him. He died when I was very young, so I wasn't old enough to go to gigs yet. He's the man. He's perfect. His voice just defies logic. The amount of range he had, I don't feel has been matched by any vocalist. I'm very biased, obviously. I did go to London to see the We Will Rock You show, which I absolutely loved. And to give you an idea of the strength of feeling I have for Freddie Mercury, at the beginning of that show, I'd never seen him live, obviously. So at the beginning of We Will Rock You, before anyone comes on stage, you're in an auditorium and they put all the lights down, and like there's lights like lighting up in different parts of the auditorium, and coming through the speakers is Freddie. And you know, like the way he used to do that, the sound effects, and have the crowd sing back to him. You know, like, you know the things he used to do in songs, and this was playing through, but they were making it sound really whispery, and it was coming out different speakers, and it was just echoing around the whole. I'm sat there, and I was just gone. I was crying my eyes out. It's like I'm here in an auditorium, and I can hear Freddie. And you know, he's obviously gone, but it was the nearest I was ever going to get to seeing him. And oh, it was so emotional for me. It was my favorite part of the I'm gone, don't judge me. It was my favorite part of the whole show, was that tiny little whisper at the beginning of his voice going around that auditorium. It was so spooky. But oh, I've never gone to see Queen because I always felt I will never see Queen without Freddie, because it isn't Queen without Freddie. Now, don't get me wrong, I think that Adam, what's his name? My memory's shocking. I think he's really good. I think his vocals are fantastic. I love the fact that he plays tribute to Freddie, that he doesn't try and replace him, that they always pay tribute to Freddie every gig. But I always felt they should have called themselves something else. They should have called themselves like Rhapsody, or I don't know, a kind of magic. Just, they should have called themselves something else, because to me, Queen is not Queen without Freddie Mercury. I have softened over the years, and I do think I would go see them, because I know they put video footage of Freddie in the background and stuff. And I would love to see that. What I would absolutely adore to see is what they've done with ABBA, which, if you didn't know, they're also doing with Kiss, which is the holographic show. Oh, please do a Queen one with Freddie, please. That would just make my world. Although, would I be able to see it for crying? I'm not sure. I don't get emotional about bands. I don't scream. I whoop quite a lot when Backyard Babies come on stage. I whistle quite a lot. I cheer a lot. I clap a lot. I sing a lot. But I don't get emotional and cry, and I don't do that like really frantic thing that some girls do with that. It's like, no. But if I saw Freddie Mercury on stage, I dread to think. He's like, I've only ever had two idols in life, and he's one and Billy Connolly is the other. Weird, maybe. Somebody sent me a photograph once of Billy Connolly and Freddie Mercury stood with their arms around each other, and I was so made up. I'm like, my two favourite people in the entire, celebrities in the entire world knew each other and liked each other and were friends. You've just made my fucking year. I love that photograph. I can't tell you how much. But yeah, that's a lot longer than it needed to be. 10 of my favourite albums. Are there albums which I like more that are better? Probably. But that's very quickly what I could pull out of my CD rack. So yeah. Thank you for watching, guys. Let me know below what you think. I would love to hear any videos of yours. I refer you back to Sammy G, World of Movies. He always does, he does his movie reviews, he does his collection, and he does music videos quite often, which I love to see. His knowledge, especially for older music, astounds me. This is a young lad in his 20s, and his musical, the breadth of his knowledge is incredible, and he's got such good taste. Such eclectic but classic taste. He puts me to shame. But that's my taste, guys. Let me know what you thought below in the comments. Let me know your favourite albums. Do a video by all means. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Over and out from Lisa Lives.